Hello everyone and welcome to this video where I'm going to show you how you can develop a simple Fibonacci retracement trading bot. So the idea is really simple. You can draw a Fibonacci object, in this particular case starting from the low point and going to the upper point because the trend is going to the upside, and you can see here that we have some retracement levels like this one here, 38.2%, or this one, the median value of 50%. And we want to join the main trend. Once again, it's a bullish trend at some point where we believe that support would be found. In our particular case, in the bullish scenario, we will wait for the prices to go down to levels below the 50% correction, and then we will open our buy position with target the upper bound of the retracement, the upper bound of the range, and stop loss here below the lowest point. And of course, when the direction is to the downside, we follow the exact same rules, but with reversed direction. Okay, so let's move to the code. Of course, everything we do here is only for educational and entertainment purposes, and it doesn't represent financial or investment advice. So let's start here with the event handlers, simple event handlers, only init on the init, and let's go here to our first function, which is the draw Fib function. Initially, it checks if the Fibonacci object exists and deletes it. If this is the case, now we have to find the lowest and highest points that are used to draw the Fibonacci object. So you've seen probably in previous videos that you can use the function iHighest to identify the number of the highest index. So for example, in this case, the highest index will be, let's say, index 20, for example, and the lowest will be index 80, maybe. So this function will go 100 candles back in history, starting from the current candle, and using the mode high, it will find the index number of the respective candle, and it's the same for the mode low. Of course, you may ask yourself why we use 100 candles. Well, obviously this is a suboptimal decision, but I'd like to keep it simple for the moment because the other part of the expert advisor is most important, and this could be easily changed to reflect longer historical data or another logic to identify confirmed highs and lows. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to find the time of these candles. So using the iTime function and passing this iHighest number, and this is the time for the high, and the same way we are going to find the time of the low, and of course we need the prices for the highest candle and the prices for the lowest candle, again passing here as a parameter the index number. So what we are going to do once again, it's going to identify index number 20, for example, that is the one with the highest price from the range of 100 bars. And next, using the iTime function, it will find the opening time, and using the iHigh function, it's going to find the price of the highest point here. And the same for the lowest index, is going to find the lowest time and the lowest point. Okay, and what we do here is actually to compare the times. So if the time of the low is less than the time of the high, which means that the direction is bullish. So this is the case here. The iTime function will retrieve information about the time of this candle and of this one, and when we have this time to be less than this time, obviously the direction is bullish. It's quite obvious when we look at the chart and we do this manually, but when we write the code, we need to provide this kind of logic to know in which direction we want to create our Fibonacci object. And this is the function that is used to create the object. So it's going to be implemented on the same chart. we will name it Fibonacci. Of course, this is from the object Fib type. It will be placed on the main window, and here is this part that I've explained already. We will pass the time of the low, because this is the starting point. So at this time and at this price, going up to the time of the high, and going to the price of the high. Okay, and we arrange these parameters in this order, because once again the direction goes to the upside. But if we have the opposite scenario, when the direction goes to the downside, again we create our Fibonacci object, and this time we start from the time and price of the highest point, and we go to the time and price of the lowest point. So let me here paste this function inside the onTick function. So on each tick, this function will run, and let's take a look if it works. This is the name of the expert advisor. Okay, and okay, there isn't an error, so exactly as expected. Here it identified the lowest point and the highest point. It found the time and the price, and created this Fib object. You can play around with the object itself to extend it, for example, if you want to, but I think this is quite good. And once again, it goes 100 candles back in history. So you can extend this period, or use more sophisticated logic to identify lows and highs. Okay, so let's go here to the code, and probably one thing that you've noticed already is that we delete first the object here in the beginning of the function, and then we create it once again, and this is very consuming in terms of memory management. So what I want to introduce here is a function that checks if a new bar has opened, and I want to run my trading logic and the drawing function only when a new bar has arrived. And this is what this function does. It compares a static datetime variable with a non-static one, which actually on each tick is going to check the opening time of the current candle. And when there is a mismatch between the static and the non-static variables, obviously a new candle has arrived, which means that the function will return true, and we have to update the static variable to be the same as the current bar time variable. And on the next iteration, it's going to return false until a new candle arrives. So let me use this function here inside the onTick function. I'd like to do something actually. If there isn't a new candle, so if this returns false, I want to exit the onTick function, and this will prevent from running the following functions. And of course, if there is a new bar, the draw view function will run, and the next one, and so on. Okay, let me compile this code. Looks like it's working. So let's move to the next step, which will be actually the trading logic. Okay, I'd like to import the trade class in order to place orders, and here I'm creating an instance of this class, and also I want to introduce a variable, Boolean variable, which will identify if we are in a bullish or bearish situation. Initially I'll set this one to false, and of course the lot size will be 0.1 lots, but this could be easily modified. And let me show you the function where actually we use our logic and all the relevant information. So the first thing to do is to check for existing positions, and if we have existing positions, I want to quit the function, because I don't want to open a new position if I have already existing one. Next, I want to access the levels of the 100 and the 0 level of the Fibonacci object, and to do so you can use this object getDouble function, passing the function name. Of course, it's the main chart here, the chart that we are working on, and providing this constant object property price 0 and 1. You can see that we are going to retrieve this 0 and 100 levels. Okay, and to calculate the 50% correction level, we just sum these two correction levels and divide them by 2 and normalize this value to the number of digits from the current chart. Next, we want to extract bid and ask price, and here is the trading logic. So if we have a bullish trend, and let me actually use this function draw Fibo to set my boolean variable here to true. When this time is lower, the time of the lowest point is less than the time of the highest point, and here bullish trend will be equal to false. Okay, so now we have this information. So when the trend is bullish and the current ask price is below the 50% correction and it's above the 100 level, so the trend is bullish. This is the case that we are looking at, and when the price is below this 50% correction level and above this 100 level, we can place our buy order. Okay, for the lot size of 0.1 lots, for the current symbol, the ask price, we have retrieved this information. The stop loss initially will be placed here at the 100 level, and the take profit will be placed at the 0 level right here. Okay, obviously we have to provide a few pips of additional buffer here, but I'll do this in a second. And this is a comment, buy at 50% retracement. And for sell order, exactly the same, but the trend is bearish, and you can see everything is the same but reversed, and we use the trade class to place the sell order. Okay, so now I can add this function here to the onTick function. This is the best way to structure an expert advisor, in my opinion, to split everything into different functions and just to pass them inside the onTick function. Okay, let's compile this code, and what I want to do next, because I don't want to wait for signal, let's go to the strategy tester, and if I go, let's say, for example, Fourier chart, using where is it, advisors, YouTube, this one, YouTube. Okay, let me run this one and take a look what's going on. Okay, here in this particular example you can see that it has run our script, and looking 100 candles back, it found this one as the lowest point and this one as the highest point, and now we are in the bullish direction. So these are support levels. We are interested in these 50% correction levels, and when the price goes below this level, we wait for a buy order with stop loss here at the 100 level and take profit here at the 0 level. So let me fast forward the video a little bit. Okay, I just don't want to miss the moment when we buy when we open our position. Okay, okay, just a second here. As you can see, now the price is below the 50% correction, but probably you wonder why we are not buying here. Well, this is because we run our script just once when a new bar is identified. So when we use this new bar function, it actually waits for the new bar to open to run the next functions. So when this candle closes and the new one opens, our buy position should be placed, and this could be in our benefit, or sometimes it could prevent us from opening a position. Just imagine that now this candle closes here and the next one opens here, so we may miss the opportunity to open a position here. Okay, let me go here. I'm waiting for the close to stop it. Okay, yes, exactly as expected. When the new candle opened, now the new bar was identified, and now it drew our Fibonacci retracement and our trading logic. Okay, let me quickly run it at high speed. I'm going to go here to this graph. You can see that we are opening positions and taking profit sometimes, or our stop loss is hit in other occasions, but looks like our expert advisor is working pretty decently for the moment, considering the fact that it's very basic and a lot of improvements could be introduced to this code, and that's exactly what we want to do next, to see how to improve this strategy. Okay, now I want to create a function which takes care of changes in the direction. So close at directional changes. And this is the function here, but let me explain the idea, because let's say that initially we had a bull trend and we have opened a buy position, but at some point the direction of the trend reversed, so we now have a bear trend, and we want to close this buy position because the direction of the trend is already the opposite. And this is what this function does. It's a void type, and initially it checks how many open positions are there, and if there are not open positions, it just returns and quits the function, because it doesn't make sense to run the rest of the logic. But otherwise we can create a loop here to select the type of the position, and to select it by ticket, to access its ticket. So if the type of the position is buy, we have a buy position, and the bullish trend is now false, which means that the trend is actually bearish. We have a directional change, and we want to close this position, providing the ticket. I'm going to comment out this alert, and if we have a sell position but the trend is bullish, we want to close this position, following the exact same logic. And I want to use this function here inside the draw Fibo. I want to place it before the trade logic, because if there is a reverse in the direction, I want first to close the positions, and next to run the function that executes new trades. Okay, I think this is an improvement here, and maybe at this point you could start thinking about different improvement ideas. Of course, you could go in many different directions, but let's try to do something in order to establish momentum. Let's call it momentum price action, and I want to use a filter for the bullish positions and a filter for the bearish positions. And what I want to do here is to extract information for candle number 1 and candle number 2, opening and closing prices. And once again, these candles, these bars here, this is index 0, so the current one, and this is index 1 and index 2. So for example, let me explain here using the chart. Let's say that we have our 50% level here, so the price is below the 50% level, and we are working on a bullish scenario. What I want to do is two things. First, I want to take a look if the closing price of candle number 1 is higher than the closing price of candle number 2, which means that it goes into the bullish direction. And the other thing I want to do is to measure the body of this candle number 1 compared to the size of the body of this candle number 2. And like in this case, this distance is higher, is bigger than the distance of the previous candle, so we can assume that there is some bullish pattern. Of course, this is very simplified assumption here, but it's not a bad idea, because if we see this kind of price action below the 50% correction level, it could be just an additional confirmation that the main trend could be resuming. So let's take a look at the function here. The body size of the close minus the open, and the body size of the close minus the open of the second candle. Here, let's take a look. If the close of the candle number 1, here, close 1, is higher than close 2, I've shown you this, and the body of candle 1 is greater than the body of candle 2, we have a confirmed bullish filter. And otherwise, if these criteria are not met, this function is going to return false. And we have exactly the same, but in the opposite direction. Once again, to make it clear, okay, this is the current candle, candle 0, this is candle 1 and candle 2. So we want to make sure that the closing price of candle 1 is higher than the closing price of candle 2, and that this body is bigger, is the distance between the opening and the close is greater than the distance between the opening and the closing price of candle number 2. Okay, these are the conditions in a bullish scenario, and in a bearish scenario we look for this kind of pattern here. Close below the previous close and body that is greater than the previous body. Okay, and of course we have to include these filters to our trading logic. So where it is? Okay, I want to extend this here. Okay, we have all these conditions, and for the bearish scenario, and let me copy the name because I don't want to make a typo. Okay, so let's compile this code. Looks perfect. And probably one final thing, I want to create some space when we place a buy order. We have here the correction level of 100 as the stop loss, but actually I want a few pips below this lowest point. Okay, so let's say that I want 10 pips. Again, this is really simplified, but I know that I'm trading Euro USD in this case, so this will be 10 pips, and I want to do the same, but here I want to add 10 pips to this level for the short positions.
You can support my channel with a one-time payment or membership through Buy Me a Coffee. Subscribing, liking, or sharing also helps grow the channel. Thank you for your support, and thanks for watching.